Hey everybody, Stevo here from Movies and TV's on the Fall, and I just had some cereal today, and I was wondering, who is your favorite cereal mascot? This is more of a look at nostalgia than anything. I wanted to do a video, just kind of, this is sort of a breakfast video, and talk about just the mascots of our favorite cereal companies. For me, I remember the Follow Your Nose um, of, Toucan Sam with Fruity Pebble or with Fruit Loops. Then you had They're Great, which with Frosted Flakes, and it was kind of interesting with the Frosted Flakes that they eat all this sugar cereal and then they go and perform sports and stuff, and then you had Tricks the Rabbit or Silly Rabbit. Tricks are for kids, where kids would just sort of torment the rabbit by giving him some cereal and not giving him some cereal, and that was sort of a moment there. And then there was the um, Captain Crunch. Crunchitize me, Captain. I do remember the commercial where they are doing all berries. Oops, all berries. Where I think they would have like, we have cinnamon or where we add the uh, crunch with the berries, and then something happens and it's oops, all berries. And then you had Frankenberry, Count Chocula, and Boo Berry. I think there was a mummy one as well, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys my thoughts um, on cereal mascots. I do remember Smackers a little bit. I do remember the Flintstones, Fruity Pebbles, and Cocoa Pebbles commercials where it was always um, Fred or Barney was trying to steal Fred's cereal. A lot like the Tricks rabbit, and Barney would like go through these elaborate ways of doing to kind of steal Fred's cereal, and it was kind of interesting. Like they did one where he was a rock star, and like more of the putting it on the shelf or putting it on the table and him stealing it. But I do remember that. I do remember, but I was just gonna. I do remember Cookie Crisp. It has something had to do. They changed it up. Nowadays it has a wolf, but back I remember they had like kind of this fat dog, and it was more of this. Cookie Crisp was sort of like a thief. I think I can remember, but um, I do remember that. This is just me reminiscing about my breakfast favorite breakfast characters. I guess the honeybees, Cheerios, from the Honey Nut Cheerios. I remember him. He always sort of was like tried a little bit of honey. The most famous one I know is the Christmas one where Ebenezer Scrooge is in his is in his office writing, and the bee shows up and gives him honey nuts. Then there's Cuckoo for Honey Nut Cheerios, and then there's uh, Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa Puffs, where in the Cocoa Puffs it was sort of him, uh, the bird always wanting the cereal where it's like, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Kind of in the same way where the Cookie Crisp kind of came along. But I do remember there's one episode, one got, I think I mentioned the Got Milk commercial where Tricks the Rabbit kind of disguises himself as a human and finally gets the Trick cereal, and then he uses the milk and he pours the milk on the. He's out of milk, and so that was kind of thing. But what is your favorite? Um, I guess cereal mascot. Who was it that you kind of like leaned to? Was it Lucky Charm, the Irish Lucky Charms? Was it Tony the Tiger or the smooth sounding um, of Sugar Bear, or Follow Your Nose with Fruit Loops, or the trio Snap, Crackle, and Pop, who I do remember. I don't remember. I do remember them like kind of making the cereal, and I swear I feel like they are relatives of the Keebler Elves. But um, what was your favorite cereals growing up? Did you like Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Were you fans of the Tony the Tiger? What toys do you remember getting out of the cereal box that they had? Did you like what? And also, do you remember what cartoons you used to watch with the with your cereal? I'd probably have to say that I think these characters have done a lot of work doing really selling us famous cereals. The cornflakes one, I do remember. I don't really remember them doing a lot of advertising for, but I do remember they had this giant, big uh, bird, like kind of green bird that would get you up in the morning. I think it's the rooster getting yourself up in the morning, but I guess there's a lot of more that I can kind of name, but I just want to know what your top 10 are. For me, I'd probably have to say, I don't know what my top 10, but I do have to say I liked Toucan Sam, Captain Crunch, Lucky, maybe Tony the, Tony the Tiger, because Tony the Tiger had someone, and then Tricks the Rabbit probably would be my top. But there's a lot of ones. Let me know in the comments below who your favorite cereal mascots are. And as always, like and subscribe. And what cereal did you like to mix and match your cereal? Would you like to or do you find that disgusting? Let me know. This is just more about cereal mascots and what's your favorite cereal. Hope you enjoy. And as always, like and subscribe. Peace. I'm Steve-O, and see you at the movies. Bye.